Hello and welcome to Goto My Mentor. My name is Susanth Kurunthil, and in this channel I talk about career in the IT industry. Okay, so please subscribe to this channel to get updates on various topics related to how you can better your career in the IT industry. So I talk about the topics that are related to how you can be excellent at your job, how you can have a positive impact on your organization, your industry, and stuff like that, and everything related to how you can better yourself as an IT professional. Okay, so that's the key uh, topic for this particular channel. So please subscribe to the channel to get such information, and so please click the bell icon so that you will definitely get the notifications as and when new videos are put out. Now let's talk about the topic for this particular video. So I call them the impact factors. So there are quite a lot of things that are happening out there that are changing the industry. So, I mean, as you can see, so many things have changed the industry over a period of time, and then specifically last year, so COVID has changed it forever. But I'm not necessarily talking about those kind of things, but let's look at some 5 or 6 very important developments, or so very important factors that affects the jobs, or the job market in the IT sector, especially in the software sector. Okay, so let's look at these areas, and I have about 6 of them that I want to discuss today. And so it starts with automation, AI, ML, cloud, SaaS, and stuff like that. So let's go through each one of them in detail. So the first thing is automation. As you can see, there's quite a bit of automation that is happening across the industries, and automation has been happening predominantly in the non-IT industries, especially with things like RPA coming into picture. So there is a lot of desktop automation, and also there is quite a bit of automation with the process engineering and things like that that are happening. So where does automation come into the IT industry? And I would say one of the key areas that automation is working very well is in the entire process of testing, security testing, and the whole release path. Ever since DevOps has become such a hot topic out there, people are looking at how things can be automated. And if you really look at this, so it had 2 impacts. One is it pushed away many of the older kind of jobs, like a lot of manual testing has gone out, and release engineers. Earlier there used to be somebody called release engineers whose job is to make a build and then put it out, put the release out and stuff like that. And all of those things are now getting automated with the DevOps, the pipelines. But the good thing is that, so many of those old jobs has gone away, and so there is this new set of jobs, especially on DevOps has come up, and so that's a major change. So the automation, especially in the IT industry, has created some jobs, but at the same time it has taken away a lot of the traditional jobs. Okay, and then so there is quite a bit of automation that's happening in documentation also. So earlier almost everything that was manually documented, now a lot of automation tools are coming into documentation as well. But that's again not something that will fully go away, but there will be those impacts that are happening. And obviously the next factor, which is AI and ML, that contributes quite a bit to automation. And even though, I would want to single out separately so that we can discuss about the impact of AI ML. And one of the questions that are coming out, I have seen quite a lot of questions about whether AI and ML will will change the way people do programming. The answer is yes and no. So it may not push out programmers for sure. Especially software development is not something which can be fully automated, in my opinion. There are certain parts that can be automated, that can be automated using AI or ML, but these kind of technologies has not gotten into areas where thinking is required. So you can make a machine do a lot of tasks much faster than how humans can do, but wherever there is thinking required, whether you are doing development, whether you are doing actual testing, or whether you are doing sales and stuff like that, these are not things that can be completely replaced. So there might be a little bit of impact here and there, but predominantly some of these core jobs may not be affected by AI and ML. But at the same time, say support is something which will definitely be impacted. As you can see, the whole AI and ML kind of industry revolves around bots. So the bots are primarily employed in support as well as in sales or marketing. So these are two areas where some of the manual jobs will be pushed out because of these bots, and then that will be, there will be an impact on those areas. Support will definitely have a major impact. And now let's look at how cloud is changing things. So earlier, organizations used to have their own data centers and then, their own people to manage the servers, manage the network and all of those kind of things, So now a lot of those system administration kind of jobs will be pushed out because people are more and more looking at cloud as an option. Obviously, so these kind of jobs will be there with the cloud providers, but, not every organization will have those server administrators, or sometimes even database administrators or application administrators will not be there. But desktop support and those kind of things are going to stay because so they are pretty much going to be there. But the server administration part of those kind of jobs will definitely see an impact here. So system administrators, please look at how we can look at things differently, and then how you can find areas which are a little less prone to these kind of automation. So that is another thing. And then the other major thing is SaaS. So with a lot of applications available on the cloud, so you will see quite a bit of impact on the on-premise applications. So when it comes to on-premise applications, you will have a lot of vendors providing on-premise software solutions, as well as maintenance, support, and everything. So these are all things that are going to probably go away. Many of those guys would have migrated to SaaS, even the vendors as well as the customers. So you will find a lot of custom software development and things like that moving away, and so they will be replaced by the cloud software. But the good thing is that many of the enterprise software on cloud, that will again require quite a bit of administration, and then solutioning and stuff like that. So you will see a new breed of jobs that are coming out, or so many of these things are already there. You will see quite a lot of companies providing services on say Salesforce or many of the RPA platforms and stuff like that. So these are new kind of solutions and new kind of jobs that are coming out there. So if you are in the industry, and then so if you are getting affected by the push towards SaaS, what you would want to do is you would want to look at what are all the prominent SaaS providers. So not, if you go and then get yourself certified on a Salesforce or a UiPath or a Blue Prism, you will not go wrong, because so there'll be quite a bit of push that is going to happen to SaaS providers. And many of these applications are available for you to try, and then so many of them have open universities, virtual universities, and stuff like that. So please try to look at those as options in case your current job is getting affected. And a lot of the jobs, especially with legacy software development, maintenance, and things like that, could go away over a period of time because of the push to SaaS. But at the same time, so SaaS is a phenomenon only in certain markets. So if you really look at globally, so many markets are open, or so they are open to SaaS. But there are quite a bit of markets, so who are still very concerned about data privacy, especially data going out of the country and stuff like that. So there will be on-premise software for a very, very long time. It's not going to go away, but many of the legacy applications, might get phased out. And also many of the legacy applications will be moving into the new age applications, which can even get into something like an in-country SaaS. So rather than SaaS provided by the global players, so there are quite a bit of players, so who are providing a cloud deployable solutions, so that could be deployed in specific countries and data centers within the specific countries, and then provided as SaaS. So there is quite a bit of changes that are happening in these areas. So you have countries which are very open to SaaS, but there are countries who are resisting SaaS, but people are trying to find different ways of getting in that. So you will see quite a bit of change in those areas. But the two most important things that are out there, which can have a direct impact on software developers and then many IT professionals, are the last two. So there is quite a lot of push that is going into the serverless kind of application development. So if you really look at serverless, so there are quite a lot of platforms. Many of the big guys are providing the serverless platforms like AWS Lambda or Azure or Google with Firebase, and then Cloud Functions and stuff like that. So or IBM with OpenWhisk and things like that. So when there is quite a bit of push that is happening into a serverless application development, so you will see quite a bit of server-side programming jobs coming down, at some point in time in the future. So there are two ways in which you can look at it. Many of the applications that are out there, so they may not have that much of complex business logic in the back end, and then anything that can happen with simple CRUD operations, or not too complex business logic, then serverless will be the perfect platform to go with. So what that means is that so the entire thing about writing servers or writing backend code goes away, and then it just goes and then those kind of things will be replaced by somebody writing just Lambda functions and things like that. So obviously there will be front-end development, but there won't be any back-end development. The only thing that you need to know is how to navigate these kind of platforms, how to go and then create or your persistent structures on a Firebase, or use how to use Amplify and stuff like that. Okay, so if you are a backend developer, this is something which you would want to look at. So there will still be quite a bit of backend development, especially when there are very, very complex business logic that are happening in the backend. There will be, but a very, very large percentage of the applications can move serverless, and then this will have an impact on many jobs, especially backend developers. And the last one, which is the no-code revolution. So there is quite a bit of platforms that are out there, which are providing no-code platforms. If you really look at Bubble.io or Airtable or Zapier, there are plenty of examples to show. So where you can actually build applications, or you can build user interface and everything without writing too much code. It's all about assembling things. So say for example, if you want to go and then build an application on Bubble.io, you don't necessarily need to write any code. It's just drag and drop, and then just connecting some logic. So there is a possibility that a lot of people can opt for something like these kind of platforms, and then that can make a lot of the front end as well as the back end programming go away. So there are possibilities of these kind of changes happening in the industry. So at any point in time, so if your core expertise is some areas which can be affected by any of these things, you should be a bit concerned. So you should definitely look at options where your career is not affected by some of these factors. There can be other factors, but I just wanted to talk about these 6 factors at this point. So just be sure that you stay away from the impact of these 6 factors when it comes to your employability or your sustained employment. Okay, so as again, there could be other factors, but so I just wanted to focus on these things right now. In case you have questions or comments, please put them below this video, and then let's have a conversation around those kind of things. And so subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. So thank you very much for watching.